Hello, MCU fans. Today we're going to take a look at all the clues from the new Agatha All Along trailer to try to figure out what on earth is going on in this crazy series. I will admit, they have my curiosity piqued. So let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Don't forget, we have a July contest running all month long. Be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook. Best of luck. And we have a membership option with lots of cool perks, so you might check that out to see if you are interested. Okay, so they set the stage that this is Marvel Television, one of the new divisions, although we have had, obviously, Marvel Television up to this point, but it's officially Marvel Television brand, and they're telling us this Halloween season, the darkness takes hold. Ooh, I like it. Anything that's moving us to the darker side of the MCU, I'm all for it. Love it. All right, so we start off seeing that Agatha is now a detective? Huh? So she's humming along as she's driving in her car, saying it's another beautiful day. Here's another detective speaking to her, saying, I'm surprised to see you out here, detective. So she's referred to as a detective. You can see the van over there, crime scene unit. What is going on, right? Because the last we saw Agatha, she was a nosy neighbor, right? Wanda left a spell on her. So I'm wondering if this means a lot of time has transpired since this happened, in the MCU, and the nosy neighbor has become a nosy detective, because that's what detectives are supposed to do. In fact, she's asking all the right questions. Who is this Jane Doe, she wants to know. Found down by the water. What happened to her? Blunt force trauma, she learns. So we see the body, right? We know it's a her, because that's what they said, so we do know it's a she, but we don't know much else about this body. Well, or do we? Those hands look really suspicious, right? Where have we seen those stained hands before? Well, Agatha, when she was using the Darkhold, her hands turned dark. When Wanda's powers were being sucked out of her by Agatha, her hands were dark. And of course, when Wanda used the Darkhold in Multiverse of Madness, her hands turned dark. So does that mean that whoever this is used or tampered with some dark magic? Possibly. And what about that shirt? I've heard some interesting theories that shirt looks really familiar. Oh my word, could this possibly be the Wanda Maximoff from 838? I mean, I kind of doubt it. It doesn't feel like this is going to be a multiversal show, but that would be wild if it was. And boy, wouldn't that be tragic, too? The poor thing, after all she went through in that movie, now to be dead. So, I don't know. I kind of don't think so, but they are making us, at least think of it. So let me know your thoughts. Is there a connection here? All right, so then Agatha really wants to solve this mystery. What happened to you, she asks. And then we see this aerial shot, really cool, of the crime scene. So next we head to the morgue and notice the corpse there, and it's got something attached to its feet, which we'll get to in a second. But Agatha says, I have a lead in the case, but I can't shake the feeling I'm seeing something wrong. And she reaches out and grabs that tag, and it turns out that tag is a library card? What? I mean, look at that. State of New Jersey Public Library, Westview Branch? I mean, there is a Westview branch that was in WandaVision, right? In fact, they even had the Neighborhood Crime Watch there. But are we saying that Wanda checked out a book on October 13th from the library? I mean, she didn't check the Darkhold out. We know that, right? That was, she got that from Agatha. So what is going on here? Plus, it doesn't really work for an October date because both WandaVision and Multiverse of Madness, her two appearances during the Multiverse Saga, were in November, and you can check out my timeline videos for why I'm saying that. But the point is, I don't think October is necessarily her. So, eScope on the Discord server threw out the idea that it's not Wanda, it's for Billy, a la William Maximoff. That is an interesting theory. So maybe Billy checked out a book on October 13th. Probably not the young Billy, right? Because they faded away after WandaVision. Maybe the older Billy? I don't know. Very interesting, but let me know your thoughts on this October 13th date and who that might be and what's going on there. But if we throw some years behind this, which you can, put in the years by looking at those specific dates, I don't think it's going to be 2025 because that would back us all the way into during the blip period, February 16th of 2023, and the Hex didn't even exist then, and Westview was a very different place at that point. So I kind of think we're talking 2026, backing up to 2024. I think that works really well. And again, credit to the Discord server, in this case, Chris, had a really good point saying, yeah, if we make it October 13th of 2026, it gets us past Endgame. So I like that idea. So I'm just going to throw out for an early timeline placement that maybe it's in October of 2026, fitting in between Guardians of the Galaxy and Secret Invasion. Again, you can check out my timeline videos if you want to know why I put the months that I have here for these. But anyway, just my thought that it may appear between Guardians and Secret Invasion. By the way, that gives us a lot of time for Agatha to have become a detective. So that works out too. All right, so then we meet Rio Vidal, who is a warrior witch. At least that's how they list her in the character bios. And I don't think she's based on a comic book character. There's a Vera Vidal in the comics, but I don't think that's the same one. I've seen some character descriptions say she is a brand new character for this series, so let me know your thoughts on that. But she says, is this really how you see yourself? That witch is gone, leaving you trapped in her distorted spell. So this is another timeline clue. That witch is Scarlet Witch, who is now dead. So it has to be after Multiverse of Madness. Now, there were many theories that Scarlet Witch dying would have removed the spell on Agatha, but clearly it has not. The spell is still there, especially if we're October of 2026. That's a good 2 years after Wanda has died. So very interesting. So Rio says, claw your way out. And then we see Agatha going through several of the different outfits that she wore in WandaVision, even down to the black and white one, until finally it seems like she breaks free. Now, I don't know. At this point, I'm going to try to put the trailer in some form of order. This is just a guess because, like, she's buck naked. Don't know what's going on there, Agatha, but maybe this is her breaking free from the spell because she's saying she took every bit of power I had. And then I think here she's finally getting some of her power back. This might even be later on the Witch's Road. But regardless, she says, I miss the glory days. So clearly she wants her power back and for the spell that Wanda put on her to be gone. Okay, so then she builds her coven. So I'm going to combine all the shots of her coven here. So let's talk about this. So Agatha says, I'm going to walk the Witch's Road. And Lilia, I guess, they don't say her name in the trailer, but I guess it's Lilia, says the road is a death wish. And then on her refrigerator is a calendar, but notice the year is 1946? What? That is so weird. And it works perfectly because Friday the 1st works in November of 1946. So the calendar is an accurate calendar. But why 1946? I'm getting the impression that Lilia, who we'll learn more about her in a minute, but likes really old things. So this doesn't help us with timeline placement, but it is interesting to get the idea that she kind of lives in the past, if you will. More on her later. So then she says, what witch in her right mind would join Agatha Harkness's coven? And I love it. Agatha says, I'm not looking for right-minded witches, as it happens. Too funny. Then she says, join me. Now, I think this is the same scene because her clothes are the same, but she's showing an eviction notice? So did Lilia get evicted? What is going on here? So I'll have to wait and find out. I have no clue. Then now she's got on her outfit that she's going to wear on the witch's robe. So I'm kind of guessing when she rings this bell, it's to say, okay, folks, time to go. The gang's all here, so let's hit the road. So let's talk about the gang. All right, so we have Jennifer Kale, a character who's listed as a sorceress in the character bios, but also is in the comics and, as usual in the comics, wears a lot less clothing, but anyway, is a very powerful sorceress. And this is interesting. In some of the more recent comics featuring her, she's teaming up with Scarlet Witch and Man-Thing in the Florida Everglades. Oh, that is so cool. I love it. I would really be so down for a Man-Thing appearance. I don't think we're going to get it in this series, but maybe this is really tying all the MonsterVerse and the supernatural together. So very cool. All right, then we also meet, now here's more on her, Lilia, I'm going to go with, but Calderu, who is a 400-year-old witch skilled in divination. Now that's, again, the character bios telling us that. But 450 years old? Wow. So here's the other shot from the front here of her. Very, very interesting. We need to talk about 450 years old. But first of all, she is a character in the comics, and she first appeared way back in Marvel Premiere in the 70s. And once again, wore a lot less clothes, but also was a lot younger. But then this character is 450 years old. So was a gypsy in the comics. And the fact that she's 450 years old means she was alive when this scene from WandaVision happened. Remember back in Salem, Massachusetts, 1693, when Agatha was, they attempted to kill her, and instead she took her powers from her own mother and all the other witches. So wonder if Lilia is aware of this and what happened, because they're both really old, obviously. Interesting. They've known each other potentially for a long time. Also, in the comics, Lilia's family, maybe not so much her, but her family is tasked with protecting the Book of Cagliostro. I love this because if they're going to tie into the comics here, into the MCU, remember we saw the Book of Cagliostro in the first Doctor Strange movie. That's where Cassilius ripped out the one page. One of the pages is missing, and Wong says that's the Book of Cagliostro. It's a study of time. One of the rituals was stolen by a former master, Cassilius. So interesting. She's a 450-year-old witch. Maybe that's how she was able to live so long. Maybe that's how Agatha was able to live so long. Maybe they're tied together somehow. Very, very interesting. And of course, Cagliostro also got a call out in the What If episode. The Eye of Agamotto, Cradle of the Temporal Singularity, discovered by Cagliostro. So Cagliostro wrote his book, but obviously he was able to do it with the knowledge he gained from discovering the Time Stone effectively. For the manipulation and alteration of timelines. Very, very cool. I cannot wait to see what they do with her character. We also have Sharon Davis. That's her new character. Well, that's actually her real name. But of course, she was Mrs. Hart back in WandaVision because that was the character she played, or Wanda forced her to play. So supposedly, according to the character bios, she becomes a witch. She was not a witch in WandaVision, but learns magic from somebody by the time of the series. And then they don't tell us much about this lady. They tell us her name is Alice, and she's a witch. So there you go. Don't know much about her. Therefore, I don't know if she's from the comics or not. You can let me know if you think so. And then in the character bios, at least some of them, they list Joe Locke's character as simply a familiar, her familiar. But I would say he is someone very familiar, right? I mean, here's another shot of him. And yeah, other places have said that he is going to be Billy Kaplan, a.k.a. the reincarnated Billy Maximoff. So I am really interested to see how the story goes about bringing him from, Wanda's fantasy land in WandaVision into this body. I don't know. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how they adapt it because it's pretty messed up in the comics. All right. So then she said she wanted to go the Witch's Road. So is this the way to get there? I kind of wonder because all the witches are dressed the same way that we're going to see them when they're on the road. So she opens this hexagonal thing in the floor there. They head down it. And I'm guessing that leads them then to the Witch's Road. And you notice these stones have some markings on them. Very cool. Maybe showing the entrance to the road. Here they all are walking together as a group. This is a behind-the-scenes photo, but now we see the context for it as they're all walking along. And then this is creepy. I've already had some people suggesting these might be Wanda's hands. I mean, I kind of doubt it. I really think we're going to get a Wanda appearance before it's all over. But I don't think this is Wanda here, but it could be. Let me know your theories on that. And then this is wild. As they're walking down this road that almost looks like, the yellow brick road, at one point, it looks like it's leading to this house, but in another shot, it's leading to this castle. So it's kind of like that. Maybe this is the realistic view of what it is, and this is the fantasy view. I don't know. It just looks really, really cool. The visuals look like they're going to be fantastic. Then here we see Agatha getting a power-up from the other witches, which is similar to what happened, back in the Salem timeframe, Salem witch trials, although she, of course, stole their power back then. Here they seem to be giving it to her willingly. So I'm not sure why. That'll be interesting to see. Then we see them taking off on brooms, flying away, and I'm sure it's going to look much more authentic than, of course, when Thor rode Stormhammer in that deleted scene from his latest movie. But it'll look much better than that, I suspect. But in fact, here we go. Yes, that does look much better as they're flying past the moon. Nice homage to E.T. Very, very cool. And then here's Rio looking incredibly menacing. I've certainly seen descriptions saying she's the main villain. I think that's pretty clear from this trailer. Yeah, she is trouble because we later see, notice that the door being blown off its hinges here, but look at the wallpaper. I'm pretty sure it's the same house as this scene because there's Rio looking very upset. Notice the wallpaper. That's the same wallpaper. As she bounces off the wall, flies across the room with a dagger and tries to kill Agatha. So my goodness, what is going on with Rio? Then here we see Agatha trying to help Billy. Is maybe she trying to bring Billy Maximoff's consciousness into Billy Kaplan? I don't know, but look at the walls and notice it's the same scene as this scene, and it doesn't look like things turned out well, right? I mean, that's definitely the same room, and Agatha's running, and in fact, Agatha's wearing the same clothes, notice, but where's Billy? Interesting. All right, so then this is really cool. They're heading off to the party, and I love how they go from a single file line into, all of them standing apart. That's really cool. And then these masks. Oh, man, creepy. This is perfect for Halloween, right? Then Ouija board. Guys, what are you doing? Have you not seen the movies? Never do a Ouija board. Bad idea. Very, very bad idea. Then this might be one of my favorite shots from the trailer. Okay, so there's several things going on here that are 70s to me. This looks very disco era. Some of the clothes you're going to see them wearing looks like the 70s. But most important, the lighting, the red and the blue, that is right out of the awesome 70s horror movie Suspiria. Notice the red and blue lighting. Dario Argento, man, the dude is a master. If you've never seen any of his stuff, you got to check out Suspiria. You might end up getting hooked on Italian horror because there is some really good Italian horror in the 70s. I might recommend Deep Red as well. Oh man, what a movie. What a movie. But anyway, look at those colors. So cool. Definitely an homage to that movie. But also, keep an eye on the disco floor here. And then it's the same pattern, right? So this is definitely the same scene. Just look at everything around. Doesn't it just look 70s and disco-y? But notice they're drawing a circle on the ground there. And then it's Jennifer inside the circle. I don't know what's going on here. This is just so crazy. Again, the visuals are spectacular in this series. This looks amazing. Different setting, obviously different floor. But now they're flying in the air. What is going on? Who's in the white dress? Probably Agatha. Here we are looking outside the window, or from outside the window inside. That's pretty cool. Need a light? No idea the context, but that looks fun. And then this is interesting. Look at her pupils. She's definitely looking at something. And if I zoom in, is it a face? It kind of looks like a head laying back. I don't know. Whatever it is, though, that looks really cool, reflecting on her eyes. Then we see windows breaking here and glass flying. And then even though this shot here is from earlier in the trailer, I'm pretty sure it's after the glass hits her. And man, that's a lot of blood. So I don't know what happened there, but again, the visuals look spectacular. Speaking of, how about this dude spitting bees out of his mouth? Of course, you do have to wonder, is that the beekeeper? I still want to know what happened to this dude. What happened to him? So who knows? I sincerely doubt it. But hey, if they want to solve that mystery, I would be okay, though. But yeah, what is going on with the bees? That is nasty. And then this demon, oh my word. Look at the wings on that. That looks really cool. And that looks really scary. But maybe they need to call in an expert. If you're going to call in an expert, you got to call in Madison, right? Hey, she has survived demons. I don't think we're going to get a Madison cameo, but I'd be fine if we did. But anyway, yeah, the demons look scary, the bees, everything. I think there are going to be some massive horror elements throughout this. Speaking of, they end the trailer with this awesome nod to The Exorcist. And now Rio is helping them now? I don't know what's going on with Rio, but she's like, sweetheart, you okay? No, she's not. As she crawls backwards across the ground, heads over to, where's she going? Where's she going? Oh, she's heading over to poor Billy. That's what's happening. And I've had some people say that maybe his outfit there is an homage to his ultimate Wiccan outfit. Kind of, yeah, I could buy that. Definitely a hint that he will become Wiccan eventually. And then, yeah, we end the trailer with whining and growling. Oh, my word. I'm telling you, this thing looks really good. Halloween is going to be very interesting. So, yeah, we actually get two episodes on September 18th. And then from what I saw, it's 9 episodes long. So, yeah, that would stretch all the way to Halloween. Very, very cool. Cannot wait. All right, let me know your thoughts. Also, don't forget, July contest. Be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook. And we do have that membership option in case you're interested. And lastly, I always mention the Discord. You can see we're doing all kinds of fun things. X Monday rewatches all the way to the end of July. We also have Multiverse and Mutant rewatches on Wednesdays. That, again, leads into July. And we have WandaVision, and then Foxverse rewatches on Fridays. So very, very cool. Lots going on. We mostly talk about Star Wars, DC, and Marvel, but the other media forums let you talk about anything you want. 1,400 members across the globe, 24/7 conversations, and we would love for you to be part of it. So I will leave a pinned comment so that you can join the Discord. And also, if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, ever-changing Marvel Cinematic Universe.